All right. I'm back to do a full review after spending a day using these Leki Trigger S handles. If I was giving this a rating, this device out of 5 stars, I think I'd be right at 3.5. It is a improvement in some ways over just a regular handle with loops on it that go around your wrists, but it's a small improvement. I certainly would not say run out and buy yourself a pair of Leki poles, like I mentioned before, for 100 to 200 bucks. But if you came across them at a secondhand store, or you're like me and you found them for 30 bucks online, maybe think about it, particularly if you're going to upgrade your pole anyway. So I went ahead and I put on a glove, and I put the loop part of the Trigger S system on the glove. So if you're totally unfamiliar with this, right, I kind of explained this last time, but the pole comes with this strap harness thing that you wear over a glove on your hand. And it's not too hard to get on or off, but at the start of the ski day, you do have to put it on. And once it's on, you can get on and off of your pole really easily just by sliding that notch there through that little loop there. And you can do that really with one hand. Once it's on there, it's on there. You can pop it off with one hand by pushing on this trigger up at the top that moves a little latch inside that releases the handle. So, getting ready to go, put it on, getting on the lift, take it off. It is a little bit quicker, a little bit simpler than a loop. But once you have this on, it's on. It makes taking your glove on and off quite a bit more cumbersome. And, maybe you don't put your glove on or off as often as you have to deal with putting your pull straps on or off. But I do, because I'm skiing with kids, I do find myself removing my gloves several times during the course of a normal ski day to get into my bag, to open up gummy snacks, to hand out treats, to help somebody with goggles. So having this on my hand was not consequence-free. It meant that taking my glove off and putting my glove back on was quite a bit more cumbersome than it would be otherwise. And that was maybe not as big a deal as having to deal with pull straps all the time, but definitely detracted from the overall convenience of the Leki Trigger S system. If I wasn't skiing with kids, it would be a much smaller issue. If I'm skiing by myself, my gloves go on and they stay on until it's time to, really stop and do something like eat lunch. I also today was a very cold day. We were at Deer Valley, and the highs were in the mid-20s. And I did have an experience at one point where the trigger system wasn't working because it had become clogged with snow and froze. And I don't think that would happen on a warmer day, but it did. It did happen, and I kind of had to blow in it, kind of had to knock on it a little bit to clear it of snow just to get my ski pole on. Another thing I noticed that I didn't really anticipate is with a pull strap, with a regular, I guess you'd say old-fashioned cheap pull strap, you can hang the pole from your hand, and there's enough clearance there that it's almost like you're not wearing the pole. You can do things with your hands. It can dangle as you sit on the lift, play with your hat. Again, get in your bag, get out some gummy frogs, that kind of thing. That's quite a bit different than the Leki system, where when it's on there, it is in your hand. I mean, that is as far away from my hand as it can get if it's strapped in. So, that's good, because if you manage to kind of lose control of it, drop it, you can just grab back on because it's not going very far away. But if you have it on and you want to use your hands for anything else, you really can't, because the pole is right there. The handle is right there, kind of keeping you from using your hand for much else. So I've looked at other reviews, not video reviews, but I've read other reviews of the Leki Trigger S system, and by and large, they were glowing. People were saying that it was, a big improvement, a big change, and they'd never go back to the hassle of pull straps. I just don't think it's that big a deal. Pull straps are a little bit inconvenient sometimes, but this is not a fix for all of that inconvenience, and it brings with it some of its own issues. It's more complicated, it has more moving parts, and it's more likely to fail. So I certainly would not, if I was buying poles, consider spending the expensive amounts that most poles with the Leki Trigger S system are. Where I came across them for, a much smaller amount, $30, and where I was curious about it, I kind of went ahead and did it. But just a lukewarm review from me. I probably should review the skis behind me sometime. Those are my new 2020 Vocal 98s that I picked up after writing vocal mantras for, I think, 5-6 years. And there are some differences there that I should talk about sometime, but that'll have to be another day, another video. I didn't want to point that out because maybe I'll get around to that. So that's all I have to say about the Leki Trigger S system. I have thought that I think this system will not be a good solution for skinning and touring and backcountry skiing. In part because when I'm skinning and I'm touring and I'm backcountry skiing, you're gripping the pole in different spots all the time. And with the pull strap, I can actually keep the pull strap on and grip all the way down here. And the strap acts as kind of a harness, even when I've got it down here, to give me some leverage to push as I'm climbing. And with the Leki system, you're at the top of the pole, you're not going anywhere else with it. So I guess I did have a little more to say about it. But that's about it. If you've got any questions, feel free to comment. I don't think I have any subscribers, but like and subscribe. It's something like 10,000 subscribers. I can start to monetize my videos, and maybe I could make enough money to buy a pair of $30 Leki handles. Thanks again.